Chat room, what the heck is going on? We just got done watching our first day of the Major League Baseball playoffs in 2025, and you know what? I watched most of every game, so you didn't have to. So we're going to break down kind of what happened today, how that affects our Seattle Mariners, and just, I think, you know, let's just talk about what's going on in the postseason, because from what I saw today, pitching is king. Pitching was king all day long, except for Hunter Green. There were, you know, Scooble, Crochet. Both of them went crazy in this one. Blake Snell was fantastic in this game as well with the Dodgers. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about just from a very few amount of games. Obviously just the 4, but let's start here. I'm going to switch you guys over to this page. Let's start here with the first game of the day, which was the Tigers and Guardians. And this one was a doozy, man. This is one where, watching it, I was kind of convinced that the Guardians were going to win it. But the Guardians honestly blew so many opportunities in this game. It was insane. It started with a Spencer Torkelson RBI. And, I mean, yeah, in the first inning, Torque drove in, let's see, Kerry Carpenter in that first inning. That is the kind of start that I kind of expected from the Detroit Tigers. When you have Tarek Skubal on the mound, you know, you have your guy. You have your best pitcher, the guy that you're relying on the mound, and get off to a fast start and just ride the wave of that is Tarek Skubal the rest of the way. Unfortunately for the Tigers in this one, Gavin Williams was also really good on the other side of things. But let's keep talking about Tarek Skubal here really quick. 7 2/3. 3 hits, 1 earned, 3 walks, 14 strikeouts. 14 strikeouts. Will Vest came in, got a little hairy there. We'll talk about that 9th inning in just a second. But an inning and a third, 1 hit, 1 strikeout. He was able to get the save in this one. A Zach McKinstry bunt, like a sacrifice or a squeeze bunt, was able to score a run. And that was all the Tigers needed. They just needed those 2 runs. The way that Cleveland scored their run was crazy. It was a ball that Tarek Skubal probably had no business going after. He tried to field it and throw it to the catcher, and I mean, it was just a bad play. It should have been the shortstop or the second baseman making that throw. They had a much better angle at it. They probably would have gotten the runner, but in the end, it doesn't matter because the Tigers do come away with this one. That 9th inning, where you have Jose Ramirez up to bat. He hits a little ground ball to Javier Baez over at shortstop. Baez makes a bad throw over to Torkelson at first, and then it hits off of Jose Ramirez's leg, and Ramirez is able to get to third. Now, in that inning, you have a runner on third with no outs. And they were not able to score him. I think it went strikeout, and then a ground ball back to Will Vest, the pitcher, and Jose Ramirez decided to try and go. He decided to try to score on the contact play on a ball hit back to the pitcher. He was caught in between third and home, and that was really all she wrote for the Guardians. I was convinced this was about to be a tie baseball game, but yeah, that 9th inning was pretty crazy. Again, the Tigers come away with this one. They are now up 1-0 in that American League wild card. We talked about this a little bit. We talked about how maybe we want the Tigers to win over the Guardians, but as I see some of you guys talking about in the chat, do we really want to have to face Tarek Skubal twice? And frankly, I don't know. Because, yeah, Tarek Skubal scares me, but nobody really in their bullpen scares me. I'm talking about the Tigers. Nobody in their bullpen scares me. With the Guardians, you have a decent, few pitchers. Tanner Bybee has been a lot better in the past month or so. Obviously, Gavin Williams, he looked really good today. I mean, if we look at what the Guardians did, Gavin Williams went 6, struck out 8, 5 hits on 1 walk. I mean, he wasn't as good as Skubal, obviously, but he still pitched really well. But then you have that bullpen for the Guardians. Hunter Gaddis is fantastic. Obviously, Cade Smith is fantastic. I think that I would rather face the Tigers simply because their pitching doesn't scare me as much. But the offense for the Guardians, I feel like the offense for the Guardians is built to win in T-Mobile Park. Whereas the Tigers, they rely a little bit more on the home run ball than, say, the Guardians do. The Guardians are a team that's going to nickel and dime you to death. They're going to play small ball, and they're going, I mean, that's how they're going to score their runs. And for what it's worth, the Tigers kind of did that to the Guardians today with that bunt from Zach McKinstry. But yeah, just a pretty crazy first game of the day. 10 a.m., bro, getting the day started off right. So how we feeling about that game? I'm gonna put a poll in chat here, and we're gonna say who we think wins tomorrow. Who wins? Oh God, who wins tomorrow? Question mark. Guardians, Tigers. All right, let me know in that poll really quick who you guys think is going to win. Caden with the 7 months. Pitching was on fire today except for the Reds. Yeah, rough go of it for the Reds in this one. I mean, you're facing the Dodgers. You know what I mean? The Dodgers are so good. The Dodgers are so good. So it's like I wouldn't say it's surprising that Hunter Green had such a bad day, but also Hunter Green has been quite good. So I was a little bit shocked about that. We'll talk about that game here in just a second, but I appreciate that. 7 months, Caden. It's huge on the screen. It's just now catching up. I should hang on. Let me change that, chat. Let me change that because that's just embarrassing. Why is the alert box so big, chat? We're gonna put it like right there, and we're gonna shrink it to that. Cool. On the mound tomorrow. So if we go into the Tigers game tomorrow. Tigers. Is it not? Why would it show me? That'd be too easy if it actually showed me. All right, hold on. Emma, Tigers probable pitchers. So on the mound tomorrow, Casey Mize, who's been quite good this year, mind you. Casey Mize has been pretty damn good. A lot better than I expected this year anyway. And he's got a 3.87 ERA on the year, 139 strikeouts. He's 14-6. Tanner Bybee is 12-11 with a 4.24 ERA and 162 strikeouts. But that doesn't tell you the whole story about Tanner Bybee. Because when you look at his last 7 games that he's pitched, 45 innings pitched, 17 earned runs. He has a whip of 1.05 and an ERA of 3.35. He threw a complete game shutout. I mean, it was versus the White Sox. And then he also pitched 6 innings versus Detroit and then 6 innings again versus Detroit. Colby made a good point that regardless of who we want to face in the next round, we have to be rooting for Cleveland to force a Game 3. Honestly, yeah. The return of MLB Mojo. Yeah, we're just doing it over here. Because nobody ever... The MLB Mojo, I mean, I might, just take this video and post it over there. But MLB Mojo, yeah, man, it had trouble taking off, unfortunately. I'll probably take this video and just rip it and post it over there. But let's move on now, chat, to the second game of the day, Padres and Cubs. And I'll be the first to tell you, I was convinced that the Padres were going to take this series pretty handily. Matthew Boyd on the mound for the Cubs. Honestly excited for Matthew Boyd. He's a former Mariner. He was with the team in 2022 when they broke the drought. He's a Seattle dude. Excited for him to get that first game in. Do we know if the Mariners had their scrimmage? It will be tomorrow. The first scrimmage is tomorrow. I'll be there, chat. See you there if you're there. Guardians have 7 left-handed hitters. Mariners do not match up well with entire starting rotation of righties. Bullpen has, 2 leverage arms in the bullpen that are left-handed? Yeah, which is another reason why I think that I would prefer to face the Tigers. I think the lineup for the Guardians is just better suited to face the Mariners, frankly. But yeah, this Padres versus Cubs game, I was pretty shocked. The Padres got off to the hot start in this one. I'm not exactly sure what the chain of events was that led to the runs being scored here. Padres had the first run. Looks like it was an RBI, maybe from Xander. Only 1 earned run in this game for the Padres. But then in the 5th inning, 2 runs for the Cubs. I believe that we saw, was it a Seiya home run? Yeah, it was back-to-back. Seiya Suzuki and Carson Kelly both hit a home run back-to-back in this one, and really that's all the Cubs needed. Again, this was a 3-1 victory for the Chicago Cubs, so they're now up 1-0 in this series, in the wild card series. Matthew Boyd didn't get deep in this one, admittedly. 4 1/3, 4 hits, 1 earned, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Now, Daniel Palencia, who has been kind of a rock so far this year for the Cubs, 1 2/3. He had 2 strikeouts in this one. No hits, no earned, no walks. Black Mantis, what's up, dude? Well, watched playoff games with no skin in the game for the first time in 8 years. Pretty awkward, but got some good games. Yeah, I mean, hey, you know, I know what that you're talking to the right people. We all know what that's like, man. Drew Pomerantz, former Mariner, chat. Former Mariner Drew Pomerantz, they released the beginning of this year. 1 inning pitch, nothing on the line. Andrew Kittredge, he's a Washington guy. He pitched an inning and struck out 1, and then Brad Keller came in to close this one out. 1 inning pitched and 1 strikeout. For the Padres, Nick Pivetta, 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned with 9 strikeouts. He was dealing up there. Adrian Morejon came in, did give up 2 hits, but did not break. And the rest of his line is clean. Mason Miller, I mean, Mason Miller had an incredible inning, man. He's pumping 102, 103, 1 inning pitch, strikes out the side. Jeremiah Estrada comes in. You know, things are getting a little iffy for him, you know. 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit, 1 earned, 1 walk. And then, of course, Wandy Peralta comes in and is able to secure that final out. But nonetheless, the Cubs are able to come away with this one. We're going to end this poll here. The Guardians are the team that you guys are expecting to win tomorrow. And frankly, I hope that's the case. Let's start a new one here. Who wins tomorrow? We're going to go Cubs, Padres. All right, get to voting, chat. Get to voting. Yeah, overall, this is a game. And then tomorrow, this is a game that I think in the National League I was a little bit shocked about. But again, you know, I thought the Padres were going to be better, frankly. I did. Probable pitchers for the Cubs tomorrow. So tomorrow they are going to have. Oh, that's right. It's gonna be a bullpen game. That's right. Andrew Kittredge is gonna open the game opposite Dylan Cease. Now Dylan Cease knows Chicago quite well. Obviously, he's been pitching in Chicago before. He was with the White Sox before he went to the Padres. Kittredge starting the game is going to be interesting because obviously that is an opener. I'm not exactly sure where they go after Kittredge, if they just want to run a full bullpen game or what. It's interesting that they are choosing to go with an opener. But when you look at the Cubs roster, let's just take a look at their pitching staff really quick. I mean, is Shota Imanaga available? Like, is it going to be Andrew Kittredge and then Shota Imanaga? Cade Horton, I believe, got put on the injured list, if I remember correctly. So he, unfortunately, is not available for this game. I mean, Jameson Tyone, like, none of these guys are necessarily guys that you expect to be able to give you 6 innings and be the one to lead the charge on the pitching side of things. So it's going to be interesting in that one. But let's move on now to game 3 of the day, chat. This was a fun one. Red Sox, Yankees. We all know the rivalry. We all know the rivalry between the Red Sox and the Yankees. And the Yankees came out strong to begin this one. They had a run there in the 2nd inning. That was that Anthony Volpe home run, which of all the guys to hit a home run, Anthony Volpe, that honestly, that's pretty funny. He had 2 hits in this game. Cody Bellinger with the hit. Judge had 2 meaningless singles. MVP, by the way. And then Paul Goldschmidt was 2 for 4 in this one as well. Max Fried was great. 6 1/3, 4 hits, 3 walks with 6 strikeouts. Luke Weaver, however, another former Mariner, he didn't record an out. 2 hits, 2 earned, 1 walk. Fernando Cruz came in, walked 1, and struck out 1 in 2/3 of an inning. Devin Williams came in, 1 walk over an inning, but nothing else to show for it. David Bednar giving up a run in this one. 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 1 earned, and 1 strikeout. Again, the Yankees scored early, but it was really all Red Sox the rest of the way. In the 7th inning, they were able to score 2 on a Masataka Yoshida knock, and then Bregman, of course, with that double into left field as well. So, some really good base running from Nick Sogard. Definitely something we should mention. But, again, similar to the Dodgers and the Guardians game, Garrett Crochet, 7 2/3, 4 hits, 1 earned, 11 strikeouts. And then Aroldis Chapman came in, and boy, when I tell you, the end of that game got tense. What was it? Bases loaded, and the Yankees were not able to score a run off of Aroldis Chapman. You had a couple of hits, one from Judge and one from Goldschmidt, and that had runners on first and second. And then I Bleav he walked or hit the next batter. It must have been a hit, actually. 3 hits. But then he comes in and strikes out the next 2. So, again, I'm not a huge Aroldis Chapman fan, and most people probably shouldn't be. So it was kind of funny to watch him struggle. But I do think that I want Boston to win that series. I think that I want Boston to win the series between them and the Yankees, simply because I think that the Mariners match up better against Boston in a potential AL championship series. Let's take a look now at the Red Sox probables and see who they've got going tomorrow. So Brayan Bello on the mound, right-handed pitcher. He has a 3.35 ERA versus Carlos Rodon. So another lefty out of that pen, or out of that rotation for the Yankees. He's had a great year. He's got a 3.09 ERA, struck out over 200 hitters this year. Let's take a look at how these two teams have fared against each other. Oh, maybe it doesn't show it because it's the playoffs. Well, never mind. I guess we won't know. But yeah, interesting matchup here. I think that honestly both these first 2 matchups, Crochet versus Fried and then Bello versus Rodon, those are some really, really fun matchups in my opinion. And I think that, I don't know who the Red Sox would throw if it gets to game 3. Cam Schlittler on the other side, possibly, Rookie of the Year candidate right there. Obviously, it's going to be Nick Kurtz, but nonetheless. So we're going to change the poll again here, chat. This one's a little bit closer. This one is a little bit closer, but we have the Cubs winning tomorrow at 52%. Let's do this one now between the Yankees and the Red Sox. Who wins tomorrow? Yankees, Red Sox. All right, go ahead and vote in that poll, chat. We'll see who you guys are thinking wins tomorrow. Again, Brayan Bello on the mound versus Carlos Rodon. So because the Cubs were the team that we think is going to win, they would be moving on to the division series if they were able to win tomorrow. So, we're forcing a game 3 between the between the Guardians and the Tigers. And then between the Cubs and the Padres, we have the Cubs taking it in 2. We'll see where we're at with the Red Sox. I have a feeling I know where this one's going to go. The Red Sox are already at an 89% right now. But the final game of the day, chat, and this one was a doozy. It was all Dodgers for the longest time in this one. Obviously, Shohei hit a couple of home runs in this one. Teoscar Hernandez hit a couple of home runs in this one. Again, this was just all Dodgers. We know how good the Dodgers are. Tommy Edman hit a home run back-to-back with Teo. Listen, they had scored 10 runs. And Blake Snell was fantastic in this one. 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned, 1 walk with 9 strikeouts. When Alex Vesia came in, things started to get a little bit messier. Vesia, a third of an inning, 1 hit, 2 earned, 1 walk. Edgardo Henriquez, a guy that we saw kind of mess up the Mariners in that final game of the year, did not record an out, 1 hit, 1 earned, 2 walks. Jack Dreyer came in, 2/3 of an inning, walked 1 and struck out 1. And then Blake Trinan came in. He kind of got his mojo back when they were in Seattle. 1 inning pitched, 1 hit, and 2 strikeouts. Yeah, it got a little interesting there when in the 7th and more so the 8th inning when, who was it? It was Stevenson up to the plate with the bases loaded and 1 out, and he put up like a 12-pitch at bat and unfortunately struck out on ball 4. They had the tying run on deck at one point after being down, 8-0? They were down 8-0 and had the tying run on deck at one point. Absolutely insane game between the Reds and the Dodgers. But again, this is one that I really expected. This is how I expected this game to go in terms of who came out on top. I completely expected the Dodgers. I'm sure you guys did too. Expected the Dodgers to be the team that came out on top here. Let's take a look at the probable pitchers for tomorrow. So tomorrow we have Zach Littell versus Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Now, Yamamoto has been fantastic so far this year. And Zach Littell came over from the Rays, was definitely a guy that I thought about wanting the Mariners to get at the trade deadline. But Yamamoto, again, has been really good. He struck out over 200 this season with a 2.49 ERA. He was 12-8. Again, I don't know if we can preview this because they haven't faced each other in the postseason. So nothing comes up, unfortunately, but this is a fun one. I think that Yamamoto definitely has the edge, but I mean, the Reds showed some real fight there towards the end of that game. I'm just going to end this poll now because we all knew where that was going. We have the Red Sox taking game 2, so they would also be moving on to the American League Division Series. So far tomorrow, we have the Cubs and the Red Sox moving on. Final game of the day here. We're going to see how you guys feel about the Dodgers and the Reds. Who wins tomorrow? Dodgers, Reds. And if you guys are watching this on the replay, be sure to just comment who you think's going to win, unless the game's already happened, and then you're a cheater if you do that. But yeah, fun little matchup here. Yamamoto definitely has the edge. And again, Snell was fantastic tonight. Hunter Green got hit around a little bit, actually. We didn't even really look at his line. Hunter Green, 3 innings pitched, 6 hits, 5 earned, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. And then Connor Phillips, former Mariner, 1 inning pitched, 3 hits, 3 earned, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. Brent Suter gave up a run as well on 4 hits and 2 strikeouts. So yeah, this is a game where, again, I fully expected the Dodgers to win this one, but because of how much the Reds fought back, I think the Reds might have an outside shot tomorrow. Now, obviously, the Dodgers are the Dodgers. They have the star power. They have the name power. But I don't know, man. I feel like I like the Reds tomorrow. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like you guys are feeling the same way, which is fine, which is totally fine. You guys don't have to feel the same way. But yeah, how we feeling? How we feeling so far in the chat tonight? Again, this is just going to be a short little stream. It's actually gone longer than I expected, but just a fun first day of playoff baseball. It's nice to not necessarily have a real rooting interest, because I think the Mariners can definitely take down either the Guardians or the Tigers, but I find it interesting the nuance behind the conversation between the two. And then around the rest of the league, still, I mean, if the Mariners are to make it as far as they think they can, and as far as I think all of us think they can, we need to be looking at matchups in the championship series and potentially the World Series. And I think that in the championship series, I would rather be matched up against, like, I think I'd rather be matched up against the Red Sox than the Yankees or the Blue Jays. In the World Series, I mean, I'd rather be matched up against the Reds than the Phillies or the Dodgers. You know what I mean? So it's just it's a very fun conversation to have, but we're going to end this poll here. Not shockingly, everyone had the Dodgers. 83% of you guys had the Dodgers winning tomorrow, meaning they would move on to the NLDS, meaning the only series that we project to go 3 games is the series with the Guardians and the Tigers, which, as a Mariners fan, that would work out great. But yeah, we'll just have to, I'm interested to see kind of how the games work out tomorrow. Again, tomorrow is a Mariners scrimmage day. I'm going to be there at T-Mobile Park, but I'll be trying to keep up with kind of what's going on with the team. But nonetheless, I appreciate you guys for being here for this quick little stream. Just kind of a recap of what went on today. I mean, obviously, I know there's not going to be a ton of people in these streams, but it's super cool when you guys do show up. So I appreciate you guys, and I will catch you guys very soon.